Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Let's review the papers with you and with our guest analysts. We're joined by the publisher of the Niche newspaper, Ikechukwu Amaechi. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Olive. How are you today?
I'm very well, very well. Thank you very much.
And Jill, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Welcome. Welcome.
Okay, let's get into the papers this morning and see what this Nigerian newspaper has to say. On the Punch newspaper, I beg your pardon. Okay, all right. We'll start with this then. On the front page of this Nigerian newspaper, the big story there says, Airfare, War of Words, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council, Airpeace, Aviation Minister fight over alleged prohibitive costs of flight. Ghanaians celebrate return of Mahama as president-elect. Ambassadorial list in circulation, fake, says federal government. Reform police security agents to protect civil rights group tasks, federal government. Troops clear IPOB camps, apprehend 2 and recover firearms and others in Southeast. Yuletide, beware of fake drinks, NAFDAC warns Nigerians. If NAFDAC is warning us to beware of fake drinks, what really is the hope? Because how am I, with my ordinary naked eyes, as a person who is not an expert in food, drinks, administration and control, how will I be able to tell original from fake? Anyway, well, that's all on the front page of this Nigerian newspaper.
I think I have an answer to that question.
What's the answer?
I think this is the time, whenever it's towards the Yuletide season, the holiday season, I think all FMCGs should put out communication. Should put out a communication, be it in form of advertorial, be it in form of reminders, be it in form of sensitization, letting the people know how to detect fake from original. But then again, that's a conversation for a different time. For now, let's focus on the papers. Let's go straight to the Punch. And let's see what the Punch has to say. At the top there, it says, tax reform. Akume plays down North in opposition. The Senate meets AGF. Trump plans mass deportations, end to birthright citizenship. You find that on page 36 of the Punch. You can read up on that. Tinubu others congratulate Mahama as opposition clinches Ghana presidency. Lakurawa, Nigeria, neighbors begin offensive against new terror group. Defense headquarters vows to block security gaps as Nigeria, Chad, Niger hold joint military operations. And the front page, you can see the picture. Syrian rebels oust Assad, end 60-year family rule. Many said it was coming. It was really coming, and then it happened. And that's all you have on the front page of the Punch. I think we should go straight to our guest, and when we have more time, we'll also check out other papers. Let's start off first with the major one, and that's got to do with Ghana elections. I like your assessment, your general assessment on what you saw that played out right from before the elections and even up until now.
Well, I think every African who believes in democracy should hold his head high, because Ghana, again, has done Africa proud. Unlike the big brother, Nigeria, where election has become a mess. And ironically, our INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, was in Ghana as an observer, and he said that Ghanaians learned a lot from Nigeria. I wonder what Ghana learned from Nigeria. But you know, we as a people, I think we're beginning to lack shame in this country. Of course, the President Bola Tinubu is one of the first presidents to congratulate Mahama, a congratulation which I think is in order. But look, Joe, what happened in Ghana is far, far, far different from what we've been experiencing in Nigeria. Now, the election, don't forget that Mahama is a comeback kid, if I could use that expression. This was a guy who was a vice president, and when his principal died in office, he took over. Then, in that election, he lost to the opposition party. He had contested the presidency twice since then and didn't win. Now he has won. Ghanaians simply voted, and look, this is why I continue saying, on what basis do we, as Nigerians, claim that a party like APC, that even the present government, which is also an offshoot, a product of the same APC, is saying that Muhammadu Buhari ruined Nigeria's economy. Yet, we are saying that the same APC that ruined the economy won election in 2023. Does it make sense? Ghanaians, just like in every other place, they voted because they felt that the outgoing government, inflation got to an all-time high of 50%. Despite the fact that they brought it down to about 20-something% before this election, yet Ghanaians said the economy, they looked at their pockets and said the economy was not doing well and they needed an alternative. And that alternative was the opposition party, and John Mahama is the president-elect. Another lesson we need to learn from Ghana, John Mahama, people don't drop their political parties just because a party lost election. Ideologically, you could differentiate the parties in Ghana, Party A from Party B. Mahama has been faithful, has been with his political party all this while. Even when he lost elections, he's remained in the opposition political party. How is it done in Nigeria? Immediately your party loses election, every other person joins the ruling party. So there is nothing that Ghana learned from Nigeria or should learn from Nigeria. On the other hand, it is Nigeria that should learn a lot from Ghana. And look at what happened. When tension was building up, the candidate of the ruling party, who is the vice president, even before the results came out, even before the electoral commission there, the umpire, was able to announce the result, sent a congratulatory message to the candidate of the opposition party, because he said that the results they got from the field, from their agents, confirmed that this man has won convincingly. And that brought down the tension in that country. Here, the ruling party must win election, whether you like it or not. It's a shame that we are where we are. And it is a shame that our people, our leaders, are displaying so much arrogance and brazenness that Mahmoud Yakubu could say that Ghana has learned a lot from Nigeria. So kudos to Ghana, kudos to John Mahama, the president-elect, and Ghana will continue. If they go this way, look, the statement issued by the vice president said, look, Ghana needs to be advertised as a stable democracy because we need foreign direct investment. We need to revamp the distance, and that nobody ought to. The tension dropped immediately. Nigeria should learn a thing or two from Ghana.
Well said. I think it showed how they told the line of former President Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe, Jonathan.
In 2015.
Yes, how he put that call through. And one thing that's caught my attention was the fact that while he was making that statement, if we have the video, you put it up, everyone around him, you could tell the faces. There was this form of, oh, we're not angry, we're not agitated, but you know what? It's comme ci, comme ça, like they say in French. It's neither here nor there. It's either you win or you don't win. We didn't see any form of aggravation that would lead to wanton destruction of properties and so on. But then again, that's all. I don't know. Let's take a look at another story.
All right, let's quickly hear, since we're talking international news, Syria, what's happened in Syria? We've seen Syrian rebels celebrating as they've been able to oust Assad and end the 60-year family rule. I think that's the front page on the Punch newspaper. So let's get your thoughts on that.
Well, the Syrian debacle, because that's what I will call it, ending a 60-year family rule. Well and good. That's the way dictators usually end up. They don't end up well. So Assad has left. But my worry is that I don't see it being an uhuru, a new day, so to say, for Syria. Because what we have succeeded in doing is that new strong men have come in, and I don't see it being different from what the Assad family did to that country in 60 years. The fighting may not stop. Yes, Assad has left, but a new group may also emerge to challenge the decision. Syrians need to take back their country. And that, I think, even when we talk about Africa, I am more worried about the Arab countries, because they have allowed foreign powers to determine what happens to them and in their countries. And that, look, why Assad, they were able to oust Assad was, of course, because the main backers of Assad before now were Russia and, of course, Iran. Russia is embroiled in a debilitating war with Ukraine, and therefore it is not so much bothered about what happens in Syria. Iran is also having its own issues with Israel and all that, and is fighting on all fronts, and therefore did not pay much attention to Assad. So Assad was left on his own, and left on his own, he could not defend the onslaught against him. So he's gone. It is good that he's gone. One family cannot be in power in a country for 60 years, and you expect that there will be peace. But my point is that it is still rule of strong men. The people who have come in are people who are fundamentally Islamic fighters, and I don't see how the problem of Syria is going to be solved today and tomorrow just because there are new power keys on the block.
Very, very, very insightful, and I think it's one that is vibrating in different parts of the world. Everyone is talking about it, especially even the United States incoming President Donald Trump. But then again, let's quickly take a look at another paper very quickly. Let's look at the Vanguard. If we could put up the Vanguard very quickly. Let's see. The Vanguard says, any threat to Nigeria's security, internal or external, will face justice. That's according to the NSA. Marketers may lift petrol from Pawtucket refinery this week, Ipman says. While Naira is a massive recovery race across all markets by bankers. Let's see this one. It says, how non-appointment of ambassadors is hurting Nigeria, according to envoys. There's also a statement that you should neglect all the circulated names you're seeing. Many have pointed that there will be some names from other political parties who have merged with the APC that will be made ambassadors. Senate committee meets with AGF tomorrow, sits today. Multiple taxes, raw issues, vandalism, stifling telecom sector, and fair hike, Kiyamo, FCCPC at war over air peace. That story is here and there. EFCC intensifies investigation of NFF. So far, so good. Very few papers have it on their front page. I'm talking about the Afe Babalola and Dele Farotimi. I'd like to get your take, your insight on that story, how it's becoming a big one that Nigerians are focused on.
You know, this issue of libel is a double-edged sword. Elder statesman Afe Babalola claims that Dele Farotimi defamed him and is insisting that Dele must defend himself in court.
Yeah.
Which is good, except that the process through which they are doing this is not right. In the first place, look, I think a pattern is beginning to emerge in this country, particularly under the Bola Tinubu administration, that citizens are being grabbed by the police and taken to a magistrate court that has no jurisdiction, whether it has or does not have the jurisdiction, and the magistrate will now remand you in custody for a number of days and all that. Look, if Afebo Balala felt that Dele Farotimi defend him, of course, he has a right to clear his name. And he knows, as a senior lawyer, in fact, one of the most senior lawyers in this country, he knows what to do. And what to do is to go to court and not to use Gestapo style to come and kidnap, as it were, because that was literally what they did. They kidnapped Dele Farotimi in Lagos and took him to Ekiti, where he is now being remanded. I hope and I believe that at the end of the day, Dele will have his day in court. Let them go there and sort it out. But this does not speak well for both the Nigerian police and the judiciary. And at the end of the day, you know, there is this old story. I think it is Nagane Fawemi and some other person. I think it is Rotimi Williams. One took the other person to court or threatened to charge the other person to court because of libel or defamation. And when you go to court, you have to prove that you have that integrity in the first place that you claim that is being abused or that is being disparaged. So let's leave it, let the whole thing sort themselves out in court. What I am against, if the elder statesman feels that he has been defamed, he has every right to clear his name. And the way to do it is to go to court. The process they have taken so far does not speak well for both the police and the Nigerian judiciary. So let's wait and see how it pans out.
All right. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess, how this pans out. And there are other stories. I think the final one I'd like us to just touch on is Naira in massive recovery, raised across all markets by bankers. There have been a number of factors that have been mentioned. The incoming of Nigerians in the diaspora bringing in their foreign currency, CBN's new electronic policy that allows some sort of clarity between buyers and sellers who want to purchase. So the argument is, do you think that this is temporary, or do you think that this is something that might be permanent, or you expect that will revert to status quo in January?
I think it is not temporary. Of course, now, like you said, there is massive inflow of dollars now because of Nigerians that are coming back. So we won't have the scarcity that we used to have before now. And of course, there is this 2.2 billion Naira loan that the National Assembly approved for President Bola Tinubu. And there are a whole lot of factors, but I don't see it as a sustainable thing. Because at the end of the day, there is no production going on. anywhere in Nigeria. And there is no foreign direct investment that is coming in. The value of the Naira can only be shored up by consistent monetary policies that will help production, that will make us to earn foreign exchange. Right now, we are not earning foreign exchange. So this appreciation of Naira, I don't see it as something that is going to be permanent. And again, look, Nigerians are easily carried away. Today, we are celebrating that it has come down from 1,700 to about 1,500. We have forgotten that only 18 months ago, that the dollar was exchanging for about 500 Naira to a dollar. Now, people are beginning to clap for Tinubu for being a miracle worker for an exchange that has increased by more than 100%. We are impressed by little things, and that is why we are taking for granted. The truth of the matter is that where we are coming from, this government has taken us to a very terrible place. And even if it comes down to 1,000 Naira to a dollar, it is still worse than what was handed over to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on May 29, 2023. So I don't expect that it is a sustainable thing. I think it is a very temporary thing based on the factors that have been lifted. When we go into New Year and all these factors are no longer on the table, I don't see this so-called appreciation of the Naira continuing.
All right.
Wow.
So many conversations to look at. Unfortunately, we are out of time now. I was hoping that we could take maybe one more story, but we will love to have you again. Unfortunately, I've just been informed that we've run out of time. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikechukwu Amaechi, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you.